Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Pro Division for the play of tournament qualifying round here in Golf Clash. The game video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure that you do hit that thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. You can get the best guides on the market for Pro, Expert and or Master by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Join our team and improve your tournament gameplay today. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also a ball and club type I do suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there's always a plan behind it. My goal for this playthrough, or when I started, was to give you drops on all the par 3s and all the par 4s. And you never know if I managed or not. So let's take a look and start with hole number 1. For hole number 1, we are going to start with a par 4 where an eagle is definitely a great possibility. Start at complete max with half of the red ring inside the rough to the left, using 4.5 bar topspin, 2 bars of left spin, and I'm playing with a power 3 ball such as the Titan to prevent us from having to push up or have to go with overpower. Maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and then we shall just try to hit perfect. A bad great left or a great right may clip the rough with the second bounce, so please have that in mind. But we're always going to look at every shot as we should be hitting perfect. Now, the ball coming into the fairway at 353 yards. And now when we're looking at the second shot, as we're not playing a linear way on this hole, we need to look at a reference. So I'm gonna move back towards the sand, the bunker there at the back, and you can see that I do have the plus a 3-yard mark just where the rough and the sand splits. Alright, so from plus a 3-yard mark with that reference, I'm going to play 27% slider with minus 5% elevation. And I'm not gonna play with any spin whatsoever, as that is the normal way that I'm playing this hole always. I try to always avoid to play with spin if possible on a short par 4 like this, to give myself more control of the outcome, because I can read the different bounces in a better way. At least that is my understanding and feeling about a hole like this. Perfect ball. And if you hit a perfect ball and have read the reference correct, we're gonna be right at pin for a beautiful eagle here on hole number 1. So once again, plus 3-yard mark there by the sand equals 27% slider, minus 5% elevation, power 3 ball numbers. So for hole number 2, very good chance for an hole in 1. I'm gonna start with what I usually do on this hole, top of the red ring by the rough line, with the ball guideline go through the hole with no spins added. You can see that was a little bit right, so I'm gonna correct and go a little bit left instead. Now, after that is done, we shall apply spin, which is gonna be 2.8 bars of backspin and no side spin whatsoever. Last but not least, we shall in this case go with our adjustment, and the adjustment shall be maximum distance with a 15% over adjustment, power 3 ball settings. Adjustment is done, and we are ending up to hit perfect, or like we are looking to hit perfect, which we do, which is nice. And then we will have the ball bounce on the fairway over the rough and sand, and we love how the camera angle zooms out, or like camera zooms out, and we know it's going to be close, and we drop it right at pin for a lovely hole in 1. Really good chance, in my opinion, to get a drop. Hole number 3 is a tough par 5. Doesn't matter what wind we have, but obviously with a tailwind, it's going to be a little bit easier than what it would be with a crosswind or headwind. Half a bar of left spin and we play a no movement. What that means is that we shall not touch our target until it's time to adjust the rings. Adjust max plus 10. You push up to max. And then you will apply overpower based on what club level you're having. So if you're playing with XMI level 8 or 9, 1.5 ring of overpower. If you play with XMI level 6 or level 7, 2 rings of overpower instead. And the reason for that is that we do have different power on those type of clubs, and we do always want to push this ball to get as far up the fairway possible. Obviously not to go into the rough, but we do want to be somewhere between 380 and 395 yards. Now, second shot, you can play this one in different type of ways. I like to play with the sniper, as I do have the sniper level 10, but you can also play this shot with sniper level 9 to try to somewhat push this one towards the pin. But it's still going to be a very difficult shot, and the albatross is still going to be really rare. So, in the end though, don't expect an albatross here. Play it safe to get the eagle, because if we're going to miss the eagle here, that's going to obviously become a problem trying to compete in the tournament. Adjust maximum distance with a 5% over adjustment. What I strongly would advise you to do though is to adjust the pull angle for the second shot with an 11.59. Either that or you back up a little bit more, because we are hitting the rough pretty high up and we are a bit lucky to not roll into the rough there on the back. If you roll into the rough on the back, it's a very short and simple rough iron, but that should never really be the case here. So make sure to adjust with either an 11.59 pull angle for the second shot, or start a little bit further back to give yourself room to be pushed as high up as we do get with the tailwind. But again though, it's the qualifying round. Take it easy and just take the eagle and be done with it here on hole 3. Hole number 4, and here we play with a Navigator once again. No point in playing with a better ball in my opinion. 0.8 bars of top spin, 1 bar of left spin, and look what I do here now. Top of the red ring by the start of the fringe, and the ball guideline pointing to the right side of the cup. You can see that, you know, a little swirl there in the end, and that's important. You do want the ball guideline to point to, you know, to the right side of the cup, because what we will do here now is that we will adjust for medium distance with a 10% over adjustment, power 3 ball numbers, which is 1 to 1. So to make it simple, you take the wind that we're having, which is 5.6, and you adjust 5.6 rings. Center the ball, very important. Straight pull as well, no pull angle needed, and we're gonna try to hit perfect. Perfect ball. And you see it bounces nicely into the rough, and it rolls and they follow the path to be, yeah, left side cup drop, but I don't really care how it drops, just let it drop. This is a money shot. If you do the things correct and hit perfect, you will get this one to drop more times than you miss. For hole number 5, we do have a headwind, and here I'm going to just take it easy and lay up and go for a rough bump to get this ball to drop. I'm gonna start just before plus 1 yard mark with the rock level 8 and level 9, using, in this case, half a bar of backspin and 3 bars of side spin. Left, I'm playing with a katana, which is a perfect ball to have here, as the side spin is definitely going to be helpful, especially for the second shot. Adjustment here now, maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and you will notice that I will adjust into overpower. So if you do adjust into overpower with the rock 8 and level 9, don't use any overpower whatsoever. If you adjust into overpower with the rock level 7, which you will do, because you're going to have to start at the plus 5 yard mark instead of just before plus 1, as we did with the rock level 8 and level 9, due to the different power of the level 7 and then level 8 and level 9. So the overpower with the rock level 7 shall be 1 ring less than what you adjust into. So if you adjust 2 rings into overpower, you use 1 ring of overpower, etc. So second shot is going to be a rough bump. Here I'm looking for complete minimum distance of my club with my grizzly, and this to try to simplify this shot as much as possible. A great left and a great right with this approach will still clip the rough, so you don't have to be afraid of that. Adding top spin together with side spin to the right. Ball guidelines should be just left of pin, you know, as from the view that we're looking for. So just left of pin, and I'm going to, in this case, adjust minimum distance with a 15% over adjustment, power 2 ball settings. Always pull over bullseye as well. That is something that I do every single time. So always pull over bullseye and then get to hit perfect. Perfect ball bounces nicely into the rough, and it rolls beautifully right at pin for a beautiful eagle on hole number 5, which is a tough hole when we do have the headwind from tee. Hole number 6, and here we are going to push the drive hard because there is such a massive advantage to reach over on the second fairway, but we are also taking a risk, and I'm gonna explain the risk as well once we have taken the drive. Add the spin, which is max top spin 6 bars and 1 bar of right spin. Don't use more than 6, don't use less than 6 either. Adjust max plus 10, push up to max, and then we shall be going with max overpower. And here comes the risky part. You can obviously get different type of wind angles for this shot, and that could give you different type of outcomes. But what will or can happen here is that if you are unlucky, you can roll into the rough on the top of this platform, but we still need to play with the 6 bars of topspin or we'll clip the first rough. Then it's better to end up into the last piece of rough as a worst case scenario, where you still then can go and try to save, you know, you're still gonna get the birdie, but maybe in that case save the eagle by having a shot from long distance. Now, 5 bars of topspin, max side spin to the right, which is 2 bars. And I'm starting complete max distance here. And this shot is going to be able to be played equally well with the Cataclysm or with the Big Dog. Because we do want power, we do want curl. That's kind of the two things that we're looking for. Max plus 10, and then we apply overpower the amount that we adjust into. Try to not hit a double great left. That's really not gonna be good in general. But the ball there is going to get very close to the green, and from here we're gonna have a wedge that has, you know, a super simple wedge to attack the pin directly. And you can see the wedge here in action as well. You can see that we have a straight headwind. Use the topspin that you do have back up to let the ball guideline go slightly through the hole. Very important that you let the ball go through the hole here, especially when it is headwind. And then hit perfect or great left or great right, and it shall still drop. So it's super simple wedge to get the eagle in that way, but the drive is everything. If you do a good drive, the eagle is going to be very makeable, but if you mess up the drive, which unfortunately is a possibility, then you're gonna have a tough time getting the eagle here in hole 6. I'm not really a fan using kingmakers anymore in pro, as I normally don't feel it's needed, but on certain par 3s, on some on par 3s, I feel it's gonna be a great benefit for doing so, which hole number 7 is a perfect example for. No movement, we're not touching the target until it's time to adjust the rings. We use 1 bar of topspin, and it's going to be approximately half a bar of side spin to the right. But more importantly, we want, when we add the side spin, to have the ball guideline to go towards the hole, but just, you know, kind of favoring left side of the pin based on when we are looking at it from a tee perspective. Adjustment shall be maximum distance with a 30% over adjustment, power 3 ball settings. And as we're playing with a 30% over adjustment, I feel there's massive value in keeping it with a wind 3 here, because if going with a wind 2 or wind 1, there is maybe risk that we have to adjust more than 10 rings. And adjusting more than 10 rings, then we need to do 2 pulls, and then that's going to be much tougher to get a consistent way of dropping this hole than I do believe it's going to be now. I think this is a really good chance on kind of a semi-tough par 3 here in Pro Division. For hole number 8, we are going to play a similar par 4 like hole number 1, meaning that we do have a short par 4 where an eagle is going to be a very good possibility. 4.5 bar topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right, and I'm playing with a katana ball with the white ring to the right by the rough line. And that's going to be the same position for myself with extra mile level 6, 7, 8, and 9. But the difference is going to be that after you have adjusted max plus 10, with extra mile level 6 and 7, we shall push up. And we're gonna push up 1 ring after the adjustment. Why? It's because we have less power on those level of clubs compared to extra mile level 8 and 9. The only plan here really is to get the ball down to the fairway. Now we're going to look very closely at the yardage that we are getting, which is 346 yards. From 346, we are going to play 54% slider with 10% over adjustment power 2 ball settings. And what you will notice here now with with the second shot is that I'm going to use no spin. But also more important is that I'm gonna leave the ball guideline short, approximately 1 green square short of hole, to make sure that I'm not going to come in too hot. Those of you playing with the Thorn level 6 or 7 will struggle a little bit more by getting the correct aim point, but having a Thorn level 8 or level 9 does give you a good ball guideline. When you adjust, always pull over bullseye to get the correct adjustment. Always, alright? And I see there already that we do have a little typo here. We're gonna change because we are going to play 10% elevation for this shot, no, not 0 as it was labeled at the start. So 10% over adjustment, 54% slider from 346 yards. And then every extra yard you're getting, you reduce 2%. Every less yard you're getting, you add 2%. If you do hit a great left on your drive, you need to add 4% extra to the slider due to you take yourself further away from the pin. Very good chance on hole number 8. Hole number 9, we are going to play with a power 3 ball minimum. There's nothing wrong to play with a power 4 or power 5 ball on this hole, just to have that added. Start at max power 3 ball, half of the blue ring inside the rough to the left, 1 bar top spin and 2 bars of left spin with the extra mile level 8 and extra mile level 6 plus. Adjust is gonna be max plus 10. Once you have done that, if you do play with extra mile level 6 or 7, you push up half a ring after your adjustment. 0.75 ball of curl to the left always. No overpower obviously, and you're gonna let the ball do the job to bounce over on the other side of the fairway. Make sure to not use too much of topspin here, because the risk of rolling into the rough and the sand on the back is going to be pretty big. So that's why we're only playing with 1 bar of topspin, because frankly we're just playing this one to secure the eagle. We're not looking to get an albatross here, even though the wind is very tempting to try to do a power hook on. But as there is a lot of water, and once again it is the qualifying round, I truly don't see the point more than the point to, you know, just play for having just fun. But here we do play to have fun and to win at the same time. Stretch out to max, adjust from max overpower position, and then you will see that you will still be in overpower just a little bit, and then you will use that overpower to, you know, transform that into rings of overpower that you will using. So it's gonna be somewhere between 1 to 3 rings of overpower. Again, we do have a lot of room for error on the second shot, as we're only playing towards the green, and you know, half a ball of curl to the left, 2 left spin, and somewhere between 0 to 1 bar of backspin for the second shot. Again, don't push this one for an albatross, please. Take the eagle and be done with it. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Pro Division here for the playoff tournament in Golf Clash the game. My goal was, as I said in the beginning, to have drops on every par 3 and every par 4 for you, which we also have, which I'm very pleased with. So make sure that you do get the qualifying round guide for Pro Expert and our Master by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Obviously we update for the opening round and the weekend round as well. Once again, thank you so much for watching and good luck in your Golf Clash game.